Alright. Hold on a sec, fellas. Sorry. No volume yet for the chatters. Gotta fix this one sec. I'm sorry. Someone type sorry. Loosive's trying to fix it. Yeah, maybe. Turn up my desktop. Okay, it's at max. Hold on. Tech support's working. Okay, we're just. They can hear the broadcasters now? Oh, you can hear me, but not the broadcasters. Interesting. Alright. Hold on, folks. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We'll fix it.
Is this better? Can you hear me? There we go. Yeah, it's pulling from Ninja. All right, viewers. Thanks for hanging out. Getting this all set. It looks like we have audio back. Jaws gave a absolute banger of a monologue there. Do you want to shoot that back and give it another shot? It appears Jaws is still muted. So
Okay, I'm unmuted now. Hello, can you hear me now? Hooray. Yes? We good? Are we live? Chat? Confirmation from chat? All right. Let's go. All right, everybody. Welcome to the first. Oh, God, I don't even know where to start. It has been 15 years since League of Legends launched. It has been 9 years since the Tilt Champions League has launched. It has been 2 years since Calbert has lost a championship. And it is the first year of the Fearless Draft. Thank you all so much for joining us. I am Jaws, joined by Calbert, who, as I said, back-to-back TCL champion, who thankfully knows a lot more about what's been going on with this game than I have. And we are going to talk a little bit about some video games. We have got Golden Retriever Energy, A-Barn, and a bunch of other folks, including the return of Bloodbath and Beyond. In the bottom lane, we've got a total role mix-up against Implosion, probably with a ton of strong personalities, and it could really go one way or the other. So I'm really excited about this matchup. Calbert, how you feeling? What do you got for me? Let's start with just the season changes for League of Legends, and then we can talk about Fearless, and then I guess we'll talk about this matchup, and we'll probably be in Champions League by then.
yeah, so some of the season changes. It looks like we're having trouble getting into lobby here. But some of the
That's okay.
major season changes this year, just adding some neutral objectives, adding the feats of strength, just some of the different kind of gameplay mechanics. Feel like it really kind of sped up the game. So games probably won't be going as long, which is, I'm sure everyone's happy about, because I think TCL was famous for its 40 to 45-minute games. So.
Oh yeah.
But it looks like now we are
It's the
gonna
30
get
minute.
into
Oh, sorry.
draft.
Oh yeah, it's the 30-minute. We talk about the 30-minute threshold, right? The magical 30 minutes of once it goes past that, whoever's kind of in a stronger state, it's like win 2 team fights and you win the game. But yeah, definitely not going to be the case on this thing. We are into the draft, and as we said, this is fearless draft. So if a champion is selected for this game one, it will not be available for game two. However, bans, correct me if I'm wrong, are not affected by this format. So ban some champions, they are still available. They will still need to be banned, but effectively, if something is picked game one, it's gone for the rest of the series.
I get it.
Jaws, I'm DMing you if you can read that.
Sure.
My countermeasures are ready, even if you are not.
All right, so it looks like here going into draft, we've got some ADC bans, which is not surprising. Blood's used to getting banned out. Usually top lane. So Bloodbath and Beyond, probably the reigning top lane star, I would say. Year after year, he took I believe a season off. But year after year, he was generally a first round pick going into top lane. So it looks like 2 bans to him, a ban for A-Barn on the Gnar, and we're going to see a first pick Lux for Golden Retriever and Energy.
Alrighty, I'm going to do a quick mic check. How am I sounding? How am I feeling? Am I duplicated? Can Calbert hear me?
I can hear you now.
I am duplicated. All right. Am I no longer duplicated, Loosive? Okay.
Right? Speedy Wife Dito says, I hear nothing. So, we're trying to get Loosive to figure this out. We'll blame it on him. It looks like a Volibear pick, likely to be J-Bob, I would say, in the jungle. It seems like a very safe pick for him. And then we have a Mumu Smolder, which very well could be the bot lane for IREP's team here. And then a Lucian pick, which is another good pick for Blood. Blood does like to trade and fight, so a very strong pick for him here, having some engage.
I see you lack judgment.
And we see the Malzahar, which is likely Bully.
So I go.
Jaws, are you still with us?
Yep. Hello. Yeah, I'm just gonna probably sound maybe sound a little duplicated. Actually, I may not sound duplicated to chat, so I may just. All right, so actually, Cal, you're just gonna have to put up with my duplicate for the sake of the show. Away we go. Hey everybody, thanks so much for bearing with us. Season opener, and you know it's all good. Hey, Loosive took a season off last year. You know it's what happens. Yeah, hey, you know, that's what happens. But yeah, no, as you said, we've got the Lux. We did hear that Lost in the Sauce had to get a bit of a reminder on Lux's ulti range because in Wild Rift it is a global ult and in League of Legends it is not. So we're going to see, I did see Blood was running a lot of Lucian. So, and Lucian, you know, is always a strong lane bully. As you said, it's a fairly aggressive meta right now. Damage dealers are very well suited for that. And with the different objectives being able to wanting to get those 3 kills, wanting to get those global objectives early, Volley, Lucian, a lot of lane bullying going on. You mentioned Smolder as well. The Smolder, a little bit more of a scaler, so may not line up as well with this meta as someone like Lucian, who probably kicked the crap out of Smolder early.
Yeah, you know, it's a really interesting pick here if they go Smolder Seraphine, because it's going to be the Bard. We're going to see the Bard, which is really interesting. You know, Bard has that roam potential. Smolder generally plays safe, doesn't mind farming under turret. So it looks like here they might just be playing around jungle pressure and mid, with that Bard pick being able to roam around.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of kind of global mobility across the board on the side of both teams, but as you mentioned, with Bard being able to leave lane, but he is going to be leaving the Smolder alone against the Nautilus Lucian. You mentioned that Tank's not really seeing much play in this season. The Nautilus can flex, the Volley can flex. But yeah, curious if this is going to be a Nautilus support, which we've seen a lot of in TCL, or if the Nautilus is going to go somewhere else. Probably going to be that support. There's the Yone. So
Yeah, called that.
interesting. Yep, you
Yeah.
did. You absolutely called it. You said, AP, typically an AP mid, AD top, one way or the other. You actually, I think you were talking about the Gwen as a potential flex to grab Gwen top and grab one of the Win boys in the middles. But yeah, there goes Yone.
Yeah, it's really not surprising. Okay, so I don't really like that pick from IREP. It does okay in lane against the Yone. The thing is like, Yone just is going to scale to oblivion. It's a good champion to put A-Barn on, because it gives A-Barn that potential to push, to split push, and then to eventually carry the game. I'm worried about the amount of damage on Implosion probable. It just doesn't look like it's there. They do have a lot of ults, but their win con is getting smaller, that 225 stacks.
Yeah, and it looks like a bit of a throwback team. It doesn't look like a team that's really matched to the current meta, to the current patches, and it's kind of that traditional 2 damage dealers. Bard can deal damage-ish, but I don't know. We'll see. Right? This is amateur play. This isn't pro play. People are not hyper optimized. So yeah. But yeah, we had mentioned before about seeing kind of what J-Bob was also going to bring into the jungle. We were thinking about the Amumu. It looks like I think I missed the first rotation. But it looks like he might have taken the Amumu away from J-Bob. But bringing in the Volibear and champs like Volibear able to really just pump out that damage early and take advantage and try to get to those feats of strength where the first 15 minutes getting those objectives quickly and snowballing off of that it's the name of the game.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's nice about Volibear is he's versatile, so you can build him different ways, and you can build him depending on how you're doing as well. If you don't get done what you need to get done in the beginning, you can just build him an engaged tank, and then he's just in there stunning people, causing some chaos, and I think that's really good for J-Bob to have that flexibility. There's also lockdown, so what's really nice too is like you hit a Nautilus hook and Volibear's nearby, it's another stun, it's a slow, and then you have the dive potential too. So I think Golden Retriever Energy here, they're going to have the opportunity to make those early plays. I guess what I'd be worried about is just letting Malzahar get too far ahead where he's unkillable, or letting that Smolder just free farm. So if I'm Golden Retriever Energy, I'm focusing bot lane, I'm shutting the Smolder down. I'm making sure that he can't get to, I would say 150 stacks before first turret, and then really kind of controlling it through bot lane. Just because top lane, I really don't think you're going to get much done with the Malphite and then a potential Amumu gank. It just sounds like it's going to be a bad time.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we do have some folks sitting in on the TCL watch party. So if any of you would like to come in and give your 2 cents and help us get through this spectator delay, feel free to pop up and let us know. But Calbert, looking at this game one, top to bottom, before we bring a guest in, who do you think is going to take it?
I think I give game 1 to Golden Retriever Energy. I just think their comp's better, and I think the only win con for Implosion Probable is that Smolder. Malzahar can lock someone down, but it's essentially just negating one person, and I think it'll probably be Yone in team fights, which will be frustrating for A-Barn. He's got the Malphite ult, he's got a Mumu ult, he's got Malzahar ult. Somehow, if he manages to get through all that, there's the Bard ult that can stop him, and then Smolder can just fly away. So, but that's their only win con.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely true. And Malzahar, it's such a short range, and with all of the movement creep and the honestly mobility of Yone Lucian and the lockdown of the Lux, there's a lot of different ways for that Malzahar. Even if he puts himself in a position where he does hit a good ult, he's as suppressed as his as his target is. So that is going to be a lot of damage off the table, where you want Malzahar to be getting those resets and really melting people down over a longer fight. And as you mentioned, there's a lot of catch potential on the side of Golden Retriever Energy, and I completely agree with you. I think they definitely won draft, they definitely have the advantage, but they still have to play the game. And we are into that game, game 1 of season 9, first season of Fearless, of day 1. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this. I'm curious. Malzahar, I would expect Bully to play something a little bit more skill dependent, because I feel like Bully is one of the better mid laners in this season. So I was kind of excited for him to play something a little bit more flashy, I guess I would say. I know he's a Malzahar main, but I mean that's kind of boring, right? Like I would say like the 30 and up club in TCL plays champions like Malzahar, where you press E, you press W, you clear the entire wave, and then you spend that time looking at the shop, seeing what can I buy next, and you do that for about 30 minutes.
What you got against those league boomers, huh?
I am
Malzahar, huh?
I am a league boomer.
What you got? What you got? No, no, I'm joking. Malzahar's actually.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn.
This is a vision test. Can they actually hear us or not? Yeah.
All right, TCL, we're back.
If you can watch this game, you do not need LASIK. So this is, speaking of the boomer test, if you cannot see this, you are too old to play League of Legends. So my sincerest apologies. You are not allowed to. You're not allowed to even watch this game.
We're getting a lot of.
League has become really ageist. It's really sad. Yeah.
A lot of colorful chat here. My favorite.
People would actually just do it like a radio broadcast, and then you would have to sync it up with the replay. So yep, yeah, I know. We are great. Great.
Okay, so yeah, we are.
Oh well, Calbert can unmute on Discord. That might help. Because is my audio going through? Oh. All right. Well. All right, y'all. No, we'll get there, y'all. We'll get there. Don't worry. Well,
Yeah,
Calbert,
we
you're
are
actually in the game, so I was gonna say you can.
Yeah, I'm in the game right now, guys. I will give you the radio version. So right now, Bully's up 2 farm
Calbert,
in the mid.
Share your screen with me. Share your screen with me, and we'll just radio this. Yeah, cool. Loosive, whenever you're ready, let me know. Otherwise, Calbert, if you could mute yourself again, and then we'll just rock it. Cool. All right. Do they have both of us audio wise? Chat, can you hear both of us in audio? Because we're just gonna radio this. Just making sure. Okay. Yeah. So right now we've got. Oh no, Cal, can you swap to summoner names, please? Because right now I just have champion names. Thank you. That might be rough. It's right there. It's a drop down. Go up. Boom. Summoner name. We can't hear. Well, but you're saying that in response to me saying things. So can you actually not hear me? All right, we got a first fight. It's probably gonna be first blood. Yep, there's the ignite. First blood going to Bloodbath and Beyond, and they get a flash on Vrail. Vrail is pushed out, so that early aggressive lane. All right, that's what I thought. Anyway, we are gonna have so that's gonna be first blood. So the first step down the pathway of the Feat of Strength. Well, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean we're on screen right now, so I think we're good. I don't know. Like, I just need to know if I'm good to talk. Hey. Okay. Well, no, Loosive. If we have just get it to a state where my audio works, and then we'll just radio broadcast it. and then you, if you can figure that, if you can do it that way, like we should be good. Great. All right, good to talk. Back on. I'm gonna keep rolling. So Abarn has a nice kind of slow push, trying to set up a nice slow push. He's about half health versus IREP. We have, but yeah, in the bottom lane, I was talking before, and I'm gonna say, Calbert, I did call it. Blood and Speedy was going to be a pretty nasty lane. It looks like they're setting up a freeze, and they're gonna try to really freeze Smolder and Vrail out, putting out the fire of the Fire Dragon, so to speak. Vrail's rolling in, does miss that hook, but we absolutely see what that's going to look like in a kind of getting level 2. There goes the root down. Vrail is low, does have the flashes in through the magical journey. So Blood actually following, taking advantage of the flash that he had just lost. And yeah, just continuing the domination on the bottom side. One more chance to get to that feat of strength, and we see a teleport coming in from Abarn. Kind of go back in. Could you please tab up so I can see the? Thank you very much. And yeah, Calbert, we've got a little bit of a kind of advantage, pretty big farming advantage on the side of the mid lane, but bottom lane absolutely dominating as we're getting into 6 minutes. I can't hear you, dude.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
All right. We'll just rock it like this. Yeah, so, Blood, up a lot of gold, a lot of kills. It looks like J-Bob's spending some time bot, making sure that they can continue that lead. This is kind of what I called in the beginning, right? You got to play through bot here. Ignore top, because you're not going to get anything done top if you're J-Bob. And it looks like GRE is going to start Dragon here. It relatively free. They do have 3 people in the bot that can contest, but it looks like first drag is going to be uncontested for GRE.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be first Dragon's going to be uncontested. They're going to be able to go back. Could I quick get a check on how much gold they have in their pocket right now? It should be X. If you tab in, press X. There we go. Okay, so not enough. It looks like they just did their buys. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to have all eyes on bottom lane so they can see if they can get that third champion kill. That third champion kill, but we do see the suppress going down. Bully is able to catch Speedy in a roam going mid, so that's going to be champion kill number 1 for Implosion probably, and Bully exploding Speedy as he potentially got a little greedy, trying to clear out some vision and moving towards the mid lane to give Bovie a bit of a break. Blood is now just kind of hanging back under turret. Bovie getting a little bit low, Lost in the Sauce getting a little bit low as Bully is continuing to push him in, has a pretty solid CS lead in that mid lane, but definitely a 1k gold lead, and really on the edge of that first feat of strength is Golden Retriever energy.
Yeah, so actually we are having technical difficulties. GRE actually has the first feat. They do have 3 kills.
Okay. Got it.
So they have the kill feat of strength, and they are 1 of 3 on neutral objectives. It looks like we're going to get an engage, and we're actually going to see J-Bob take a kill onto IREP, Abarn getting an assist there. So again, another kill going over to GRE, and an ult down from Lucian is going to cause Vrail here to back out bot lane. Let's check in on that Smolder. He has 32 stacks right now at 8 minutes. So
yeah, what's the pace on that one? Typically.
I'm not sure the pace. It doesn't look very good. We're going to see Rudy drop pretty low. Lost in Sauce is going to rotate over, and we're going to see Rudy go down to Lost in Sauce, but Bully is going to take one, is going to take J-Bob down, and maybe Abarn here. Abarn's dropping low. Abarn's going to get out with about 10% health. Lost in Sauce needs to get out of there. Otherwise, he is going to go down as well. And Lost in Sauce heals. Lost in Sauce still fighting here. Really, to what end, I do not know. Lost in Sauce is about 1/4 health below his turret. Oh, Blood comes mid. Blood is going to kill the loot. Oh my gosh, what is going on here?
Oh, Blood's going to survive with that shield.
Wow.
Oh, Lost in Sauce saving Blood.
I wish chat could see this, but Lost in Sauce was fighting mid, and I didn't know to what end, but then all of a sudden Lucian came up and took down Bully. So Bully ends up giving up a kill. Lucian gets out with about 100 HP, and Lux gets out with probably about 100 HP as well.
Yeah, and Speedy actually in a 2v1 situation, he's running away towards his turret. Going to be able to get away and be under turret, about half health. Probably going to, actually, no, he's going to stick around and try to get some vision, probably in that bottom side tri-brush. Yeah, he's just kind of sitting there. Can we go bot lane as we see J-Bob starting up? He is starting up the Grublings. But yeah, we have, it looks like there's going to be, wow, another jump A-Barn and getting really low against IREP. IREP is just beating.
IREP flashes under turret. A-Barn flashes ults him.
Survives.
Wow, A-Barn gets a kill under turret. J-Bob picks up second grubs there, or picks up 3 grubs there, so they end up getting their second feat of strength for the jungle, and we're looking at a potential gank on Lost in Sauce in mid. Rudy is invading bot jungle. He's looking at coming up behind him. Rudy's actually just going to do Raptors here, and it looks like back.
Yep, that looks like what he's going to do. Lost in the Sauce is still pretty low, sitting under turret.
Rudy's looking for it.
Yeah.
J-Bob finds him. This is not a fight that GRE wins. GRE needs to back out here. All right. It looks like they're going to contest red here, so it looks like GRE's red. Yes, I can hear you, Joss.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, blood flashing out. Counter flash from Rudy and a big ulti from Coach. So getting the shutdown, Vrail actually gets the shutdown. So maybe not exactly what they wanted to do there, but now trying to make something happen. And still that 1,000 gold lead, still that feat of strength, the killer strength, 11 minutes in. And then the Voidlings as well. So GRE having map control, but now an invasion from Rudy. Vrail is there, Bully is there. They're going to suppress Speedy down in the bottom side jungle of GRE, and Bully is going to get the kill. So getting a little bit back off of that, Bully has 3 kills. A lot of gold, decent amount of gold in his pocket, big CS lead. So if they're going to come back into this game, it's going to be on the back of that Malzahar, probably a mid-game fight.
Yeah, and I'm showing it on screen right now, but Bully's up about 1,700 gold mid, which is a pretty big gold swing. Jungle's pretty much even. A-Barn's got a slight lead top, and then again we see about a 1,200 gold lead bot for Lucian right now. Checking in on the Smolder, he is at 60 stacks, so he's working his way up there. I mean, all the fighting, all the he's got 1 death, and he's had to back at some inopportune times, so. We do see the second dragon come up, though. This would be the last neutral objective that GRE needs for their feat of strength, which gives them upgraded boots and another upgraded boot potential.
Nice. Yeah, no, so true. And second dragon, this is the opportunity for Implosion probably to not implode. If they can get 1 or 2 good resets on that Malzahar, get the Smolder moving. And I think I'd asked before, like, what is the average kind of stacks per minute that you're typically looking for on the Smolder? Because as we continue to check that, we mentioned 30, oof, but now 60, maybe starting to move a little bit better in the direction that he wants. What is he typically looking for in terms of pacing?
I think 10 stacks per minute is roughly like what greatness looks like. And maybe even good as far as that goes. But generally, that's what you want to see. So right now, you would want to see probably around 100, 120. So he's about half that.
Got it. Okay, yeah. So not great. Not great, Cal. But we see actually Smolder going for something. Hook lands. Speedy grabs it. Blood goes for the big burst, trying to get him over the wall. And Rudy is down. So smite down. Golden Retriever Energy going for more. They are able to get stasis on 2 of them. Vrail, however, paying for that with his life. And that should be a free dragon number 2 for Golden Retriever Energy.
Yeah, and really important to note that A-Barn tellied there to kind of secure that down, which is great. Lost in Sauce ended up surviving there. It looked like Bully did ult him, get his full combo down on him. Once again, that heal from Lost in Sauce is coming in handy. I think that saved him again, which I thought was a really weird summoner pickup for him, especially in the mid lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And looking at the kill participation, I'm trying to call out as much of the CC as we possibly can on this 1920s radio broadcast. But we have Speedy has just been the hook master, landing absolutely every skill shot that he possibly can. And Blood following up as needed. And Bovie, Lost in the Sauce, holding his own in the mid lane. And we're currently looking at A-Barn just slamming a rock as we see a big roam from Vrail coming in to try to help
go to red side, although blue side, so GRE did end up getting the feet. And it looks like here we're going to get a dive down onto Coach. Coach is just going to get smacked around underneath his turret.
Yeah.
Kill's going to go onto Bloodbath and Beyond, putting him 3-1-4 right now, and up about
and the ulti to make sure that Abarn went down. So a little bit of overkill there, but we actually see the gold flip at 16 minutes. Speedy rolling in, trying to stop some of these backs, but now we're actually seeing the gold flipping, just a slight lead in favor of Implosion probably, but getting those two outer turrets, they're back in this game, and with these kinds of game-changing ultis, they could absolutely start flipping it in their favor.
Yeah, and it's really important to know that, Implosion Probable can just make someone's day not fun, right? We just saw the chain CC go down to Abarn from a gank bush right there, where they had no vision, right? But why would you expect half the enemy team to be in your topside wolves bush? You probably wouldn't. So they just kind of ganked him, and I mean, like, he couldn't even move. So it's scary here too, because that can happen to that can happen to Lucian too. So Lucian's got that big gold lead, but all it takes is one Mal's ult or one Malphite ult, and that changes.
Yeah, it really does. It's you get Malzahar, Amumu, Malphite, a lot of press R's. I mean, or even just it couldn't be a troll, but I think Rail's a good enough player to not troll on the stasis. But yeah, Bully, there's a lot of gold on Bully, so he can absolutely carry this fight. And once he starts melting through, because we had said before, this meta isn't very friendly to tanks. It's very friendly to damage dealers. But Malzahar can absolutely just melt through, squishy or semi-squishy target, and there's not a ton of survivability. There's a lot of life steal, a lot of kind of skill expression where people can get life back. But if they get that dot on them and they don't have the ability to stop it, as we see a outer Smolder ulti trying to deter Golden Retriever Energy from taking this mid outer turret, they're going to push off. And yeah, what we didn't talk about was the wave control on the side of Implosion, probably because Malzahar can just insta-melt a wave at this point, and so he can really stop a lot of these potential sieges. I'm not quite sure, outside of the fishing that the Nautilus and the Lux, I'm not quite sure if Golden Retriever Energy have the same thing, as we see Abarn and IREP in a slap fight. Abarn's starting to kind of hit that Yone, I'm really, really annoying threshold, and so IREP not quite able to do what he was able to do in that early game. Blade of the Ruined King finished for Abarn, and I believe he got his tier 3 boots as well. But yeah,
and here they're
Yep,
they're fighting over vision for Dragon here. That's one of the big things you have to do, is just make sure you control how these fights play out and where they play out. And honestly, Implosion Probable here, if you're GRE, I think you give them this and you take mid turret. I think mid turret's more important right now than third Dragon, just based on where they're at gold wise and based on the control they need on the map.
Yeah, I completely agree, and especially with Bully. Actually, Rudy getting rooted, goes in, gets a good ult, forces a flash out from Lost in the Sauce. He is just tunneling on this kill. A stasis on 3 members of Golden Retriever Energy.
Oh.
A little early, but there's still going to be 2 kills, so a 2-for-0 team fight as Golden Retriever Energy being chased down in their own jungle. Abarn going in, completely whiffs his ultimate, and now 3 members of Implosion properly trying to chase him down. Bully, Rudy, and Coach. They need some kind of CC. There is no ulti. Rudy misses his bandage toss. Abarn is just trying to stall as long as he can. Here comes the rest of the members. Here comes the kill. See you later. And Lost in the Sauce is just hovering around trying to get as much health back as he can. We're actually going to see a teleport going down in the mid lane, Reform Bully trying to protect that mid outer turret, while the rest of them looks like might be a bit of a split call as Rudy is starting the Dragon, but the rest of his team is not there. Coach is going for bot outer, and the rest of his team is pushing down mid. So it looks like they're saying, hey, Rudy, just grab this, as we see Bully grabbing another kill in the mid lane onto Sauce, who was just hovering around there. Didn't look like he really knew what he wanted to do. And here comes the rest of the members of Implosion probably, but J-Bob is there. He does have his flash, flashes in, doesn't get it. Rudy secures the Dragon. So that's going to be Dragon number 1 for Implosion property. J-Bob paying with his life, immediate suppress, and Otacon also going to go. So we're going to see back-to-back global objectives for Implosion properly, and they are in the driver's seat of this game 1. What a turnaround.
Yeah, honestly, like we just saw them it potentially looked like an early game for them where they were just gonna hit the showers, and now we see them with a 4K gold lead. They tie the neutral objectives, I believe it's 3-3 on that. They get their first drag, which is big. It's, you're not at a soul point, so you don't have to sacrifice anything to get Dragon or defend the Dragon. Yeah, and that team fight, honestly, I thought it was tragic because we saw IREP ult in to 4 people that were stasised and just mistime it. He mistimed his Malphite ult. Malphite ult didn't even hit anyone. And they wiped the floor with him that team fight. So and then we saw A-Barn miss his ult and with it. Overall, that team fight could have been a lot better for both sides, but it ended up working very well for IP.
Yeah, hold that thought. Oh, no, actually, Vrail, I didn't actually see what happened, what displaced him, but we did see the bounce up. Vrail getting caught out by a binding, got bounced out of the laser and lost in the sauce. Chased it a little too hard. Vrail, a little less than 40%. He is emote spamming, very proud of himself, lost in the sauce. In the death tank, as we see Implosion probably marching down this mid lane, trying to siege down this inner turret. Speedy getting a hook onto IREP, but IREP just doing it. Here comes the counter engage from Rudy, gets the knockup. Speedy goes low. A-Barn again only getting IREP with his ulti. That's going to be a double kill for Bully. He had the dot on both of those champions, and yeah, as you see, Cal is, you can't see, Cal is just hovering over the gold difference. Bully is at 11,500 gold. Lost in the sauce, 6,000 gold. So Bully almost doubling Lost in the sauce. We see the dive in from J-Bob. Rest of the team is sort of there. Blood is trying to get the kill, does get it. Oh no, Vrail tried to magical journey. He magical journeyed through the turret corpse and just slammed into the wall, and he splatted as well. So he's down, A-Barn's down. So a little bit of redemption, but once again, Implosion properly just A-ramming their way to victory. As we see another bandage toss lands, Rudy onto Lost in the sauce. Blood trying to counter engage, be a bit of a hero, but he's doing it into 4 people, not really a team play, more of a solo play. He pays for his life. 2 more people down from Golden Retriever Energy, and IREP is just soaking up as much damage as he can. Might be overstaying. Oh no, he ulties over the wall, and he gets away. He's going to have to Q if he wants to get out of there. Okay, A-Barn gets a nice knockup. IREP somehow still alive, and he has 1 more hit. There he goes, finally down. So that's going to be a shutdown going to J-Bob. So a pretty messy exchange back and forth. Both teams overstaying, but at the end of the day, Implosion properly, they're still doing what they want to do.
He gets hit by a Lux combo, he's really not going to take too much damage. I do want to point out, Rudy is absolutely crushing most of his engages. He's hitting them, he's stunning someone, and then he's ulting at least 2 or 3 people every time. So it couldn't go better right now for IP here.
Yeah, IP looking great, and I will say Rudy joined us early, and we were joking about how, oh man, at the smallest sign of something going wrong, our team is just going to implode. And interestingly enough, the opposite happened, right? They had a really rough early game, and they turned it around incredibly well. So, right now, the greatest challenge of TCL is closing a game out, and it's even harder to close a game out when you have this lead. Dragon excuse me, Dragon is up. It's going to be Dragon number 2 for Implosion. Probably it would be Soul Point for Golden Retriever Energy. And Baron is up as well. We're actually seeing pretty good, if we look at vision, we're seeing really good coverage on the top side of the map for Golden Retriever Energy. It looks like they're definitely trying to prioritize that. Vrail actually landed a really good stun onto Lost in the Sauce and J-Bob in the bottom side Dragon Pit. They were sitting in that dot brush, not able to really convert. The rest of the team isn't there. But yeah, a little bit of a lagging setup for this Dragon. All of Golden Retriever Energy is there and in position. Reform Bully really trying to throw his wallet around positioning wise. Oh, there's a kill. IREP able to secure it on Lost in the Sauce. As you said, Rudy absolutely on one with these engages, landing absolutely every bandage toss. Vrail is just hunting down Blood, who is running for his life on the other side of the map, not able to do much else outside of buy time. The stasis from Bard does not hit, and it looks like they're just going to let Coach try to chase Blood down while the rest of the team secures Dragon. So this is going to be second Dragon for Implosion properly, just slowly bleeding Golden Retriever Energy out with a 3-0 teamfight win.
Yeah, that brings them up to a 6K gold lead. Again, Malphite's got 4 completed items to Lux's 1 right now. Just the damage isn't there for GRE. They just don't have the catch potential, and it just seems like they can't defend from the engage right now. Which between Rudy and IREP here, it looks like it's just too much for them. They're gonna start Baron here, potentially a 5v5.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to be a 5v5. There goes the suppress. It's going to be an insta-kill onto A-Barn. Blood is low. Blood is dead. Rudy gets another bandage toss. I got to check out his kill participation after this because he is just obliterating things. The Baron is melting. This should be a secure. Yeah, Rudy rolls in, wins the fight, comes back, secures, and Implosion probably are just rolling through this game. 10,000 gold lead, and I think we're just going to see a nice little victory lap rolling down. Here comes the teleport. In order to just kind of move this thing through, as Speedy not able to get away. Yeah, that's a bully teleport. They've got the Baron, and they are just going to slam down this base. And honestly, Cal, I don't really see what they're going to have. Flash forward from Bully, gets the E down, gets the suppress. See ya later. That's an ace. A long, dirty ace for Implosion probably, but well-deserved, especially after the rough early start. Nexus turret number 1 going down. Bloodbath and Beyond and A-Barn trying to apply a last stand, but this team is just running them over. J-Bob trying to chugga-chugga-choo-choo. IREP counter-engages. Second Nexus turret down. A-Barn goes in, dies for the trouble. Triple stasis from Vrail. J-Bob again trying to go in, but it's just one at a time. Too little, too late, and IREP is just tanking absolutely everything. Another double snare from Vrail. The Nexus is open. The Nexus is down, and that is going to be game 1 for Implosion probably. What a flip from the first 10 minutes of that game 1.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see that, right? It means that they have some resilience. It means that they knew their own win condition, which is always nice to see. Bully again surprised me a little bit there. 12, 1, and 13 on the Malzahar, most damage in the game, highest gold. So they played through mid, which I guess was a win con. I didn't expect to have a Malzahar carrying a game, but I've been wrong before.
I mean, okay, let's give Bully his due. He's got like an 82% win rate on that champion. If you look back to multiple, like there's a reason he tried, like the Malzahar top is a mean, but there's a reason why he ran that. It's because he was so confident in that champion, because I'm pretty sure he averages like a 70 to 80% win rate. So I'm not surprised. It's now banned, right? It's fearless, so it's now off the table. He won't be able to do that again. But yeah, that's maybe he's finally found his spot. Maybe mid is his spot, and this is gonna, this year is gonna be the year. But I want to call out Rudy again. Rudy was just crushing in the jungle. He looked right at home, and we were saying, oh yeah, composition wise, it looks like it's gonna be Golden Retriever Energy, but I love being proven wrong, and Implosion probably proved us wrong. What I'm curious to see is how the fearless draft is going to affect them in this game too.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, because it looked like everybody on IP was very comfortable with Rudy jungling, with the Malzahar mid. It's interesting because in Fearless like this, you really don't get to see if it's a one-off game for somebody or if that's truly their main. Because say they picked Amumu and Malzahar again, repeated their game prior, you kind of know who's going to get banned your next game, right? Like the Amumu ban's coming, you know that, but like now, right? You can't pick it. So the Fearless draft, I think, is really interesting just because if somebody has an off game or if somebody has a really great game, you don't really get to see that sort of information, I guess I would say. That's scouting.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just like it because it forces people to. You can't just run the same stuff. So as a caster, I like to see. Oh, we know we're gonna see a different game than what we just saw, which I'm a huge fan of. And speaking of game two, y'all, we're gonna take a little bit of a break. Hopefully, gonna bring y'all some video for game two. Thanks for bearing with us on this season opener. I can attest, we did our best. It was a certified banger. It was a whole lot of fun. I'll be here. Cal will be here. I hope you'll stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, let me know. I think we're clear, yeah. Cool. Good job. Hey, are we live? Hello, hello. All right. Well, chat, if you can hear us, we are doing a little bit of testing to make sure that we can get you both audio and video. So bear with us. We're gonna do this a little bit. We're gonna get everything locked in, and then we're good to go. So thank you for bearing with us on this glorious season opener. It's a beautiful day to stay inside, if I do say so myself. Yeah, if anybody's watching, and you can hear us, feel free to give us feedback so that we know what is going on. Would appreciate you. Please and thank you. All right, so I have an echo. So I'm gonna mute. So Loosive, I'm gonna mute. Do you want me to mute Discord, or do you want me to mute Ninja? Because I think that's where the echo's coming from. Cool. I'll mute Ninja. Okay. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me on stream? Because if you can hear me on stream, I think we're good. I'm talking. We're just trying to see if there's an echo. Okay, interesting. Because I'm not muted in Discord, but I am muted on Ninja. So, Loosive, I think you have two inputs from me. Because I'm muted on my side. I only have one input to you, which means that you may have a duplicated input to me from me. No, I meant OBS. You may be taking in two inputs that are the same, which is where the duplicate is coming from. Like you may have two. I don't know if you adjusted that at all, if you like added or subtracted one, but that might be where that's coming from. Nope. Okay, never mind then. Okay. Oh, the PG-13 stream. That was our shit. We get one. Sorry, we get one caster and we get one producer. Yeah. Oh, okay. Never mind. Just kidding. Well, that was the caster. That was the caster one then. Wait, hold up. Do you have audio coming out from from Ninja? So you have like Discord and Ninja going. So both of them are going into your headphones. I think that's what Andrew's saying. No, do you have the audio? No, I know you have me muted. Do you have the audio of Ninja muted though? Okay. Yeah, because I was trying to figure out if it was my input. I don't think it's my input because I'm going through my normal. I mean, how about this? Let me disconnect and reconnect my Scarlet and see if that helps. Okay, can you hear me now? Great. Am I still echoing, chat? Doesn't sound that bad. I mean, yeah. Okay, I'm still echoing. Okay. Can you hear me now? Oh, actually, sweet. Can you just scroll down the mixer? I'm looking at your screen. Can you scroll down the mixer? Test. What? Test. Okay, you have two headphones inputs. Test. Y'all got it? We good? We live? Hey, we did it! Let's go! All right. No, I'm saying we're off the echo. So now let's go into the game. Now run the game, and tell me if you can still hear me. I'm asking if chat can hear me. Can y'all hear chat? Can y'all hear beep boops? Great. So you can hear me talking over video game violence. Let's go. All right, Cal, your turn to talk and ruin it all. Because we just troubleshot me.
Hello.
Oh, can't hear the game. Well, no, I'm saying like, okay, can you hear the game now?
Oh, it sounds like I need to talk a little bit louder.
Can y'all hear the game now? Well, no, I just need to. All right, y'all can hear game sounds great. Yeah, we're good, Loosive. Let's go. Who would have thought it would have just taken one little mute button? All right.
Are we still on break for another minute 30?
No idea. We're live right now. Just so you know, we're good.
Oh,
I mean, I think
okay.
we've got it,
I need
right?
to go get my drink. So
Okay, do you think? I think we're yeah. Loosive, I'm gonna mute myself. Y'all have fun.
Visions in my head of this, you don't know the half of it. I got dreams of looking up, highs I can get, but nothing feels like how it feels to know these things I don't know yet. The weight of everything, and everything's just thread. Sometimes I'm trapped inside and I don't know what I'm gonna do. But to take on the world is the only thing that we know how to do. I've got dreams of finding out what all of this is for. It's you and me, and everywhere we go it leads to an open door. We've made our mistakes, the good and bad days, but nothing really breaks if I got you. Look at the sky when you go outside, and know there is nothing to keep me back from you. I got dreams of finding out what all of this is for. It's you and me, and know there is nothing, and everywhere we go we're leading to an open door. Keep me back, keep me back, keep me back from you. Keep me back, keep me back, keep me back,
Welcome back. I don't know if I'm not getting a countdown. What are we doing? All right. Hello, everybody. We're live. I thought I was getting a countdown. I did not. I'm Jaws. This is Calbert. It's game 2. We're going to get you some video. We solved everything. Thanks to everybody in the chat for doing some awesome IT troubleshooting. We're in it. And Cal, both of us were wrong. We are 0-1 on the season. We have a 0% pick rate in terms of winners. But Implosion probably, after a pretty rocky start and what looked like I thought it was going to be a total snowball in the bot lane, turned it around and just ran that game over.
Yeah, IP really stepped it up there. I think Bully did a great job mid. Bot lane was looking a little rough. Blood out to a really big lead. But again, that IREP pick with the Malphite and the Amumu pick in the jungle, all that CC, I mean, they just didn't have a way to deal with it.
Yeah, no, they really didn't. And we mentioned before, but Bully in the mid lane, I think he had a 40 CS lead pretty early on and just was om-nom-nomming his way through. But Rudy, the secret weapon for IP, just landing absolutely every bandage toss, being where he needed to be. But remember, y'all, this is season 1 of Fearless. So just a quick reminder as we're going into bans: Lux, Volibear, Lucian, Smolder, Amumu, Malzahar, Bard, Nautilus, Yone, and Malphite are off the table for game 2. We see a Vel'Koz ban aimed directly at Vrail, a Jhin ban as well. And yeah, Calbert, this is, I don't know if you've ever played Fearless before. I have not, but this is going to put a lot of pressure on folks, especially those who have not played in a while. We see Zach off the table as well.
Yeah, it's important to note that Vel'Koz ban is directed, you said it, at Vrail. I believe he got to Masters one-tricking Vel'Koz. Probably something that he'll never get to play in TCL because that's how one-tricking something works. I've experienced that in TCL. Just about anybody who's good at one champion does. But yeah, Fearless really makes you reach deep into that champion pool. So if you're somebody that can play just about anything, you really benefit off of that.
Yep, I'm going to see Mel and Ezreal off the table. Last ban is coming in shortly, and it looks like they're once again targeting the AD carry pool, and then Gnar trying to keep Abarn off of his best top lane champion by a long shot. Sejuani hovers, Sejuani lock. J-Bob is going back to the tank well, and yeah, I guess tanks in the jungle are alive and well in TCL despite what the current meta is.
Yeah, that's actually really surprising to me. I'm also surprised we're not seeing an early Rise pick off of Abarn, just letting him scale up into the top. And what that does too is it frees up your mid lane to play an AD. I'm not sure what Lost in the Sauce plays. I hear he's an Urgot main. Wouldn't know if we would see that mid or not, but an early Rise pick I don't think is bad here. I don't know if IREP can really counter that top per se.
Yeah, for sure. And Abarn known for Rise, also allowing him to really kind of be the dictator as we see Mordekaiser being snagged. That very likely, I'm not going to say very likely. It could be a Mordekaiser mid. Bully loves to play Mordekaiser, and he'll play him absolutely anywhere. So that could be a Mordekaiser mid. It could potentially be a Mordekaiser top. Mordekaiser is one of those champions that can do a lot of things. But I don't know. It'd be a little bit weird to see IREP picking a meta champion this early in the season. There's the Rise. You are a prophet.
There's the Rise. Not a surprise.
And it's probably gonna be the Urgot. Yep, there it is. Before the
oh
second
my god, this guy needs to buy a lottery ticket. Yeah,
Hey.
so that's really not surprising seeing that. It also pretty much means that we're gonna see Mordekaiser mid because I think Rise is really hard to play against. So I think you called that one. We could see Mord go top still. I'd be surprised though. Galio, I play Galio. I'm not good at it, but I think Galio fares better into Rise than Mordekaiser does.
Yeah, and Galio could also he could run as a support. He's also one of those champions that has a lot of flexibility. He can go a lot of different places. You know where the Caitlyn is going. Going bot and Kate. I feel like Kate in organized play is that kind of the go-to. I just want to play safe and not get my butt whipped because Blood and Speedy really punched him in the mouth in that first 5 minutes, and it looks like Coach just wants to kind of chill and farm for a while. Draven also being banned. I know Blood can pretty much play everything. I don't know if he has games on Draven, but I could see him being a bit of a nuisance. I don't know. Maybe that's a throwback for our producer. Also two-time champion, Loosive. Nunu off the table. Sorry, Willump and Nunu off the table. And then Senna, the last ban for IP. All right, call it right now. Who are they going to ban? Last ban.
It's gonna be a jungle, so somebody with CC, somebody with engage. I'm not sure who Rudy plays here, but I don't know. I don't even know what's still in the jungle. That's a tank / Rammus. Yeah,
Okay.
Rammus.
That was
Rammus.
that was like a phone psychic level conjecture. That was pretty solid. You know, it's like, oh, it's gonna be a jungler. It's gonna be someone like, oh yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. It's like A+. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's just one of those easy to play junglers. Tank engage, press one button, lock someone down. So I'm curious to see what Rudy's gonna pull out here. I think
Whoa.
they're throwing last pick down to jungle, which is weird.
Yeah.
Unless it's
Yeah,
a
I don't
more
know.
jungle, which isn't unheard of. It's easy to play.
Yeah. Yeah. You press one button, you know, take someone in the death realm. I believe Rudy knows how to play. It's a
Yeah.
shame. It's a shame to not have him on a champion with skill shots because that's really kind of his thing, right? He's a Leona player.
Felios.
Felios, okay.
All right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Although I guess with Aphelios, because he sees the Caitlyn, he knows that he's not going to have as. I mean, Caitlyn can be a lane bully, but Aphelios, you know, he can literally do everything. So, you know, we'll. Wow, this is just they're just going for. I mean, he could run Thresh, he could run. Oh, Braum.
Hey,
Okay,
that's
you had
better.
mentioned Braum is kind of a pretty common meta pick. Braum plus Aphelios equals great. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think
generally you don't want two heavy tanks like Braum and Sejuani. You just lose so much damage. Just right now, damage dealers are in such a good spot. Oh man, Swain would have been a good pick there.
oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
Very true.
because like there's so much engaged between the Urgot, Sejuani, and Braum. Like Swain's such a good pick because you're just gonna get punished for going in. It's also important to note that if they lock in this Swain, you have about 80% of your team doing magic damage.
True.
So if you shut down the Caitlyn, like realistically, you just build MR. So if you're, J-Bob, you're actually in a pretty good spot if that Caitlyn doesn't get ahead. Even if she gets some kills, she usually builds lethality anyway, so it's not like armor really matters too much.
Yeah.
Okay,
What a
so it
wild
is a more
composition. I'm just digesting this composition.
yeah,
This
it's a
is
more jungle.
spicy. It
Yep.
is, yeah, it is a Mordekaiser jungle. On the other side, I'm not gonna say it's comfort picks across the board but I don't think Blood, outside of maybe Alawi, he doesn't really have a comfort pick. He just kind of plays whatever. So, but and Speedy can kind of play whatever. But yeah, getting lost in the sauce on his beloved Urgot. Abarn has. This is where Abarn, can I please get lifetime TCL stats so that I can do SQL queries? Because I want to see. I want to be able to do real time like Abarn on Rise, lifetime win rate, lifetime games played, because he's been slamming Rise games since season 1. Top of the board. Okay,
yeah.
We're locked in a spectre delay. I do have a red hot update DM to me straight from the man himself. This is Rudy's first time playing Mordekaiser in the jungle.
I love that. Yeah, that's the type of energy that we need. Mordekaiser is one of those people who's relatively easy to play. You hit 3 abilities, you proc your passive, and you just kind of walk around menacingly at that point. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd be curious to see how J-Bob plays against it. Sejuani actually has some early pressure. She's fairly good at dueling. She deals a decent amount of damage early. But Vigar is a pretty safe pick mid, and then Galio is a pretty safe pick top.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this plays out. I mean, I said it last time. I think GRE has the edge here pick wise, but again, I could be completely wrong, and Bully could go up 5k gold at 20 minutes and end the game. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the thing I'm always going to look at with a TCL comp is degree of difficulty. It's like, how much CC do they have and how hard is it to actually execute? And the thing that scares me a little bit about IP's comp is it's a simple comp, but outside of the baby cage, which, I mean, baby cage has a ton of CC, they are little CC light. They do have the Swain, they do have the Galio taunt, where he can flash taunt in. They do have the baby cage, which is an insane stun, but they're so situational. So that's where I'm a little spooked. Whereas like Rise has just a point and click snare, Brahm's skill shot and his ulti are like fairly straightforward, right? They can be hard to hit and hard to kind of time to get around other things. But Sejuani is literally a press one button and hit, right? There's a lot of things that Golden Retriever energy has that it's hard for them to mess up. Whereas a lot of buttons need to be pressed in the right order with the right timing for IP, and they do need to kind of get moving, right? Veigar needs to scale. Caitlyn does need to scale. Swain needs to scale. So that's the only thing about that pick that spooks me a little bit. So that's my personal opinion. I still think, I don't know. I think GRE is going to slow things down, and with Lost in the Sauce on Urgot, I think they're going to take it. But what do you think, Cal?
I don't know. I think GRE, if skill level was even across the board, won champ select and should win this game. I just think that IP probably has the skill advantage just as far as the players go, and I'll give them the edge this game based purely on skill, not composition.
All right, folks, we'll see. Hey, if y'all think, oh, you know what we haven't been doing, that's okay. We're not going to give Loosive more things to do. We'll have internet points up for you to bet against each other tomorrow. So apologies for tonight. If you would like to put in GRE win or IP win in the chat, and we want to go old school on this, we can do that. Some solid skin game, as I'm seeing down the pot. We got Monster Tamer Veigar. We've got Braum Lionheart. Big fan. Ooh, Dragon Guardian Gallia. I don't think I've seen
That's
that one.
That's a cool one.
Yeah.
Yep.
The classic Uncle Rise.
Yeah, so in this lobby, if they paid for these skins, we got what is this, about $100 worth of skins?
Yeah, potentially. And something we haven't really looked at is the the masteries, the runes and masteries. So just kind of looking top to bottom, we see Bully wants to get that extra money. And then can I get the side champion portraits back? Loosive, please. Nope, the side portraits.
Welcome
Like
to
the
Summoner's
faces with the summoner spells and the. Nope. Press A.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I can see it. You're just in combat. Oh no, we see Rudy getting pulled. Yeah, you're just in combat. Combat HUD. So if you can swap back, thank you. And then yeah, I can't see the side guys.
Minions have spawned.
L. K. I'm not sure. Cal, do you know what button brings the side portraits back in?
No, but I can start pressing buttons.
Yeah, it's in spectator. So yeah, we had a little bit of excitement in the first, but just a 5 point. Lost in the Sauce, getting a little bit of a pull. But yeah, he's gonna want to be a bully. He's gonna want to bully the bully, while Bully is just going to farm himself back up. So we'll have to see how this goes. But yeah, probably could be a little bit of a slower roller, Cal, on this one, unless Speedy can snag one of those bops. Just kidding. He's going to go immediately, and they're going to try to. Oh wow. Okay, great ward from Speedy, but Blood not in position enough to take advantage of that early one. That could have been a really, really scary thing in terms of getting that early snare off, not doing it.
Loosive,
Yep.
Go ahead and press I. And then blue and red team frames.
Yeah, that one. Do that. Hey, you want to do objective timers while you're at it, so I can see the objective timers? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Loosive, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, let's go. All right. Thank God.
We're back, boys.
All right, we're in it. We got J-Bob beating up wolves. But yeah, Cal, I've just been kind of waiting for that like super scary Braum where he lands his Q and then Blood just starts whipping chakras and is able to get that early snare. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. But it looks like, yeah, way more cautious from both teams in this early days, despite the incentive of those feats of strength.
Yeah. The other thing too, it looks like both junglers are clearing towards bot, so I think bot's kind of the powder keg again. We're gonna see that pop off early. I think Sejuani has the better gank potential, especially because without Mord ult, I mean, really, your win con with a Mord gank is that it's a long fight, so he can do damage, he can whittle people down, he's got survivability.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's also really going to rely on his lane mates to lock them down, right? He can roll in. He can maybe, if he lands his E, he can he can pull them in, but he's gonna need Speedy to drop that Q. Maybe if J Bob excuse me, he's need Vrail to do the kind of the pull in. But actually, we're going to see Rudy and J Bob potentially going in. Vrail and Coach are there, so this might be a 3v1 situation. They are pushing towards Bully is there. He's going to walk through a ward, and J Bob's just going to walk away. But the rest of the team is there. This is going to be a split situation. Vrail, Rudy, and Coach. Coach actually gets caught out, isolated. Bully trying to come to his rescue is going to drop the stun, but the flash has to go off. Coach has to get out of there. Flash forward in from Lost in the Sauce, gonna try to get the final kill. Coach less than 100 health. He is out of this fight, and Lost in the Sauce overextended for the moment. But now this is a 4v4 situation. Sauce out of this. Now he's definitely out of this. Coach as well. So a bunch of people swinging at each other, and a couple of summoner spells burned, but no deaths yet.
Yeah, crazy. The Kate got out sub 50 health, I think. Lost in Sauce ended up like flashing in and then just almost being unkillable. Coach stayed a little too long.
Okay.
Blood's gonna flash over. Blood's gonna get the kill. Oh, and he walked out.
Oh my god. How?
Yeah,
What?
just did a heads up play by Blood. Blows both sums there. Ends up picking up a kill and then getting out. Essentially for free. Yeah, just a good heads up play by Blood. Kind of greedy play by Coach. He had 50 health. He was by his own blue buff. He should have backed by his tier 2. And instead he walked up to try to greed some CS and some XP, which usually doesn't pay off.
Yeah, I am just shocked. I figured it was going to be a 1-for-1, but Blood knew the tower aggro spacing, was able to get just outside of that tier 1. But yeah, as you mentioned, Coach, just being a little too greedy, because he pulled an escape, kind of like pulled a rabbit out of his hat and escaped twice with barely any health. And yeah, probably just maybe was feeling himself a little bit, unfortunately. But yeah, as we approach the 6-minute mark, pretty even game. First Blood going to Golden Retriever Energy. Something else to note is that the teams both opted in. I don't remember who was opting in for game 2, but they opted in for same side. So blue side on the side of Golden Retriever Energy, red side for IP. That said,
really interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, Slate. I'm just kind of looking. There's really not a lot to separate these teams outside of that First Blood, a BF sword for Blood, which is huge for Aphelios. So, but outside of that, relatively even, a little bit of a farm lead for Rudy on J-Bob, which does make sense. But now J-Bob positioning himself in the bottom side jungle for a potential gank, good vision control on that bot side as well. Dot Brush rolling in through the Tri-Brush. Oh boy, this is going to be really, really bad for IP. Here comes J-Bob flashing in, is Speedy. They're going to just pin down Coach. Coach, there's nothing he can do. His summoners are gone. See you later. Easy kill. And so now they have complete control of this bottom side. 2 kills now in favor of Golden Retriever Energy, and they're well on their way to another feat of strength. Going to grab this dragon, and then one more kill. There they go. They'll have it again.
Yeah, feat's important, right? But you got to keep rolling with it. That's the thing is, J-Bob's going to find out pretty soon that gank junglers like he's playing right now, you're going to fall behind very quick. Rudy's level 5, I believe. Rudy's level 6. So Rudy's got a 2 level advantage on J-Bob right now. He's got 20 CS advantage. Gold-wise, Mord is only up about 300 gold. So not too much of a gold lead on him, but mind you, the 2 levels is scary because now Rudy has basically he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's got Death Realm, and also he's got a scaling. He's got the scaling Veigar. Can we get a quick check on Veigar's stacks really quick? Where he's at in terms of stacks? So we got about 65 stacks. He's a little low on mana. He just looks like he teleported in a little while ago, so he's just kind of letting things roll in. Although he has a shout out old school Chalice of Harmony. He's just kind of chugging his way back in, going to get as many Q stacks as he can. Let that teleport pop back in, rinse, repeat, do it again.
It's important to note. Well, we've been talking about this. J-Bob went for another gank bot. It wasn't successful, but then Rudy cleared his entire topside jungle. So again, J-Bob is down 20 CS here, and Rudy's got to be close to hitting level 7. while J-Bob is finally just hit level 5. But still, just a massive XP lead. We're going to see Mord right now actually take Grubs solo, and he has the agency to do this. There's no answer for it right now.
Yeah. No, and you mentioned it before that Mordekaiser is a absolute power farmer. You know, he's got great survivability with his shield. He's able to just kind of roll through. His sustain is awesome, and he can just AoE out these folks. So yeah, as you said, first, gonna be able to grab the grubs. Rudy just rolling through and just winning the vertical battle against J-Bob, and it really is kind of an old school versus new school, as we see Bully walking into a brush, uses the baby cage to get out, gets a little bit of a parting shot on Lost in the Sauce, but Lost in the Sauce holding his own way better against this. But, you know, Urgot is a lane bully early against Veigar, so he should be, but oh boy, that AP is really, really starting to hurt. So I could see after, you know, another back and 5 more minutes, those Qs are really going to start chunking out Lost in the Sauce, who looks like he grabbed a Tiamat. So get a little, just focus on wave clear. Interesting. Okay, Coach drops an ulti to Blood's face. Not sure why.
Yeah, and it's important to note too that, well, it looks like we have a gank being set up from IREP here. IREP has his ult. He is running mid.
Yeah.
Doesn't get spotted.
Running back top.
Though. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying that, you know, we're approaching 10 minutes. You know, there's a couple of moments. It seems like there's a lot more moments of tension, but not as many. Oh, just kidding. Here we go. Fight's going down. Vrail flashes in off his ulti. Blood is incredibly low. Speedy's going to try to tank as much damage as he possibly can. Blood right on the edge, but yeah, he's not going to be able to do anything. Speedy goes down. Blood barely survives. Flash is blown on the side of the carry as well. So Vrail and Coach getting something back on that and really slowing down that progression on the feat of strength as the Caitlyn really starts to come online.
Yeah, and that's just a level difference right there. Braum was level 5. We saw the level 6 Swain. Here it looks like J-Bob's going to go for it. Mordekaiser is lurking in the shadows. We are going to see a TP down from mid lane.
Yep, we are going to see a TP coming in. Here comes Bully, so a 3v2 situation in favor of IP. Blood is low, really doesn't have anything left. He is slowly burning down. And here comes IRUP as well, just to join the party. So now we have a 3v4 situation. Speedy just came back from the death tank, and IRUP diving it again, forces the flash out from A-Barn. That is a crucial flash considering the lack of mobility on the side of Ryze. So another kill going the way of IP. And it feels like the same state as Lost in the Sauce on the other side is just rolling down those plates. And we see, wow, okay, here we go. Once again, another kill. That's going to be death number 2 in this bot lane fight. Death number 3 for this extended fight. So an extended, bloody, and kind of gruesome 3 for maybe 1 in favor of IP. Same story as game 1.
Yeah, and we're actually going to see Lost in Sauce TP down, try to kill the Galio. We're going to see Blood pick up. Actually, J-Bob pick up kill back here. It is important to know IP did get the Feat of Warfare, so Feat of Warfare is going to go down.
Oh, yeah.
And I am terribly sorry.
Yep. Yeah,
I am 10 seconds
Calbert,
ahead.
Yeah, Calbert, you're ahead. You're ahead slightly. We did pause for the replay, and we're going to see, as you said, Lost in the Sauce coming down, killing Vrail. So Golden Retriever energy, getting it back. So we're seeing them. I believe that gets them the feat of strength. Oh no, it doesn't, because I believe IP got the 3 kills before. I don't actually know what the indicator is yet, but I believe they got the kills and had the grubs before GRE did. So IP got the feat of strength.
Yeah, so IP actually has the Feat of Warfare, so they have the 3 kills. And then each team should be 1 of 1 or 1 of 3 for the I don't know, the feat of killing neutral monsters. And I have no idea what it's called.
I need a spreadsheet for this.
So 3 of 3 goes to IP. They get the Feat of Warfare, and they're 1 of 3 each of them right now for neutrals.
Yeah. Yep, and there you go. So that's going to be Dragon number 2 started for Golden Retriever Energy, as you said, on the pathway for feat of objectives, which if anybody has a fancy infographic that I can use so that I can cheat off of this on my second monitor, I would appreciate that. But they are going to secure that, no problem. It's going to be an Infernal Drake as we're approaching the 13-minute mark. Slight goal lead, actually pretty significant goal lead this early in the game on the side of IP. Lost in the Sauce, getting a little bit low, but is chunking out Bully. But here comes Rudy, gonna try to roll in, flash forward, big bomb, see ya later. Bully gets the snipe onto Sauce. I say snipe, it's a targeted ability, it's A-okay. Blood, meanwhile, wow, this Swain doing work. Blood's gonna go down, so in the mid lane and in the bot lane, and they are gonna secure the kill. Coach looking a lot better on this Caitlyn than he did on this Smolder. Gonna be another plate. They'll probably be able to get a couple more plates, if not the entire turret, in order to get that. And yeah, that's perfect timing because turret playing is about to fall. They have a massive wave on that bottom side, and Rudy once again winning the vertical battle. And honestly, at this point, he probably just wants to go fight Sejuani. If he could if he wanted to, but he's just going to content to steal the blue buff and walk away. So as you said, Rudy doing work on this Mordekaiser. Just a reminder, first time Mordekaiser, y'all. First time Mordekaiser jungle.
Yeah, I can't tell if Rudy's been like practicing or if this is blind luck or if Rudy is just a jungle main now. I'm not quite sure, but he's looking really good in the jungle.
Oh, awesome! Thank you so much. A couple chatters linked me the wiki of the feats of strength so that I can cheat on them. So I can cheat on that while we're looking at this. But yeah, it's great. It's season 15. There's always things that are changing. Bully trying to get Speedy in the baby cage. Oh, does actually eventually get the stun off, and Speedy seems to really like that spot, and also seems to be constantly getting himself pinched. So he may need to kind of check his pathing on his roaming, because I've noticed that a couple of different times he's kind of been going through that kind of river into that mid lane hook, and he's gotten caught a couple of times. So shout out to IP for good ward control, but also Speedy might need to double check his pathing, because that's pretty aggressive, and I think he got caught last time doing that one.
Yeah, Speedy's definitely been caught there. Kind of giving up the agency bot lane. I don't think they win the 2v2. They probably know that. So I think he's in a good spot mid. Kind of in danger here mid.
Oh yeah, he definitely is in danger mid, and it looks like we're going to see another skirmish in this mid side. And man, just Speedy trying to hold. He's 50% health. This turret's probably going to go down, and Coach is just being an absolute lane bully, doing what he wants. Here comes Vrail. The Swain Caitlyn lane, yeah, I feel like I underestimated it. It is pretty abusive.
Yeah, it's oppressive, and that's the thing. Swain just being able to go in and do damage really disrupts everything. Okay, so IP here is going to get the feat of strength and feat of warfare. So they're going to get the upgraded boots, I believe. Yep, so IP gets upgraded boots, and that takes it off the board. It does look like Mordekaiser cleared vision on Rift, but it doesn't look like he's going to go for it right now.
Yep. Yeah, so as you said, Warfare and First Turret going to IP, they're going to get the tier 3 boots. Huge advantage for them. So already looking to kind of carry the momentum. They're 5,000 gold up, almost 5,000 gold, 16 minutes in pretty massive lead with the Veigar continuing to scale. Mordekaiser also scales decently well. Caitlyn scales pretty darn well. So they're looking good, and they're going to have to rely kind of on this late game strategy. But Rudy, just as we said, he was looking good. There's the shutdown onto Blood. You do not want shutdown gold on an Aphelios. That is scary. That's the first time Aphelios. They are going to go for the Herald, and looks like they're just going to try to fight this. Vrail is there in the middle. I don't know if they have an Ignite to deal with this guy. It looks like they don't, and the GRE roster is just melting as Speedy runs for his life to my left. Abarn runs for his life, tries to go in for a counter engage, does get one, speed boosting his way out. Speedy gets out alive as well. So a 3 for 2, not as bad as they would have thought it was going to be on the side of GRE, but they are certainly on the back foot.
Yeah, that fight started, or should have been a 4v5. I'm not sure if Abarn got zoned or was just a little bit late to that fight. But IREP being able to collapse down on it really just turned the tide of that fight. I think Lost in Sauce is is doing a great job playing that Urgot. I mean, he's a bruiser, he's lasting a while, but Bully's getting to the point where he's scaling. And once that Vigard is scaled up, it doesn't really matter if you're a bruiser or not. You're going to be taking a lot of damage from those abilities.
Yeah, quick stack check. We've got him at 204 stacks right now, so that's I believe it's
That's
it's
a lot.
That's a lot of stacks, and he's just been farming away. You know, he's at 150-ish CS at 17 minutes. That's a really good clip. J-Bob getting chunked out. Ulti gets dropped, so he's going to be not necessarily out of this fight, but just at a major disadvantage. If he tries to go in for this steal, he's going to have to go for it. Does not have his flash, so he's going to have to dash over the wall. But Coach, every time he sees him, just knocking him around, dragon going, flash over the wall from IREP, trying to cut off Abarn's escape. Abarn getting locked down, continuing to run away, trying to pump as much damage as he can, but everybody on IP is just so tanky. He's going to try to Realm Warp to get out. Yes, he is, but he's going to go right back into IREP. He's going to run away, flashes the Mastery emote, gets out alive, but IP getting the prize of that dragon. Looking good so far, especially in this game too. Oh no, J-Bob. Okay, he's going to get out. I think they're done. We'll see.
I think they might be done fighting. I'm not quite sure, but you know, IREP's getting to that point where he's so tanky. He's really not getting punished for going in, and him being able to taunt and lock people down is just a lot of CC and damage and disruption.
Yeah. Yeah, IREP, I feel like IREP is built for top lane. He's just got all of these different picks that he can pull out and just does what he wants. And it actually works really, really well when he's just kind of doing what he wants. And it's showing, you know, this IP squad they're bringing out a lot of cricket, and honestly they might have a really good look at Fearless because a lot of them just do a lot of different things. Oh my god, yep, there's the nuke. Bully presses R, presses all of his buttons, goodbye, see you later. That's Veigar, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, as you said, Veigar is scaling up. He's got the tier 3 booties, and Sauce just finished his Black Cleaver, so he's got 1.5 items. Can I get a gold check, please, just to see kind of what we're looking at as we see yeah, can I see a gold check? X. Press X. Press X. Okay. Uh-oh. All right. Well,
I can do it.
I mean, we can just guess. But yeah, as you said, like, oh, you got it? Okay, cool.
Gold check. So Caitlyn and Nephelius about even. Swain's up 20 or 2,000 gold at 6,400 compared to 4. Vigard 8,100 to Urgot 65. Jungle is actually tied just about. There's a 500 gold lead, and then top lane there's about a 700 gold lead on the Galio. So.
Okay. Yeah, but Abarn he's getting a lot of passive value from that from his items as he's starting to scale up. Yeah, this is an interesting kind of scaling battle where it's like can Rise and Aphelios kind of turn on and get what they need and have that big team fight before Veigar just blows one of them up, because that looks like what's going to happen. And you know, Coach doing a great job of just being Caitlyn, right? Getting as many auto attacks off as he can. And yeah, they need some kind of healing reduction in order to deal with this Vrail Swain, because it's just a problem. As we see, they're going to get this objective in the bottom lane as well, and yeah, just continue to snowball their lead. Like about 5,000 gold as we're approaching the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, getting the Otacon here is great. It just increases their gold lead. So being able to have that and just, you know, continue that lead. The other thing too here,
my God.
It's just. Oh, Lost. He's gonna flash. He's gonna get out of this.
Nah. Yep. He's gonna get out. Okay. Yeah, but it's just, look at this. They're in their jungle. Rudy has been living in J-Bob's jungle, but he is really living in J-Bob's jungle now. And J-Bob he's very, very tanky. He's gonna be able to get out, but you know, at this point, yeah, I said it a couple of different times, but the vertical jungling battle has been decisively won by Rudy, and this Mordekaiser jungle pick is just an absolute pain for the GRE squad. And yeah, IP looking at even looking at the vision control, Cal, like look at all of the red wards on the bottom side. That's brutal. Speedy is slowly trying to get rid of them, but IP has total control of that bottom side right now.
Yeah, IP's just in the driver's seat this game. We didn't see that. Maybe there was an early gold lead for GRE. Blood did, I believe, get first kill. So there was that potential, but it just seems like they're running away with it again. The Vigard is scaling. The Vigard scales better than the Rise does, and then the Galio is scaling very well too. So you're kind of at that point where it's really not that scary the later this goes, because you actually outscale, or IP outscales GRE. I don't know if GRE has a win con here other than them misplaying their lead.
Yeah, and that's not where you want to be as a team. You don't want your win condition to be the opponent messes up. That doesn't feel good at all, right? You want it to be an active win condition. I mean, maybe it's Blood does Aphelios things, right? Urgot gets they get a pick off. They get a pick off and then convert it, right? Urgot gets an execute. Blood is able to flip one of those close range team fights. I think their win con is if they can get a pick on the Vagar and then fight, because that's the only thing that I can really see. Because if Vagar is off the table, Blood can be a little bit more aggressive in his positioning. But it's still a dicey proposition. And then, Blood and or A-Barn having one of those team fights. But yeah, they have to potentially get a pick onto Bully. As we see this dragon being started again, this is going to be a full-on dragon dance. IREP going fishing. Bully going fishing. Everybody's going fishing. They're starting this up. This is going to be a fast dragon, so GRE needs to do something immediately. They need to fight or they need to run away, and it looks like it's going to be a fight for some. Oh no, Blood gets knocked out almost immediately. Counter engage onto Coach. Not going to be anything. That's going to be a free dragon. Yep. Oh man, Rudy securing it. J-Bob gonna pay for it with his life. Bully's on a rampage, and yeah, this is a 2-for-0 plus dragon. IP just steamrolling Golden Retriever energy.
Yeah, if I'm Blood, I'm getting frustrated here. There's no reason Blood should be the first person in every fight. If the team's gonna contest it, you gotta have your tanks walk out. They were split there too. Like, you don't really want Lost in Sauce and Speedy being split from your team there. Speedy got chunked to half health by getting just Vigard comboed. It looks like Sauce here is just deleted.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the stat count at for Vigar? Can we get an update?
288. Ooh.
Yeah, he's at the point where he's like, he probably has Rad Cap.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's about to. He's about to have Death Cap. He's got his 2
gold in the bank.
Yeah.
AP is gonna shoot up here, and he's just gonna be nuking people.
Yeah. This is
I don't think they kill IREP here.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he's so tanky.
They might.
And they have, and you did mention they have a lot of magic damage. Although Aphelios can melt someone pretty badly. So the rest of the team is not here. IREP is out there, so that's gonna be a shutdown. Shutdown goes to Aphelios. That is a gasp of life back in the hands of GRE. But Blood needs to get out of there because Vrail is about to make his life a bit of a problem. J-Bob, they're not even welcome in their own jungle anymore. So Blood able to secure the Gromp, but mid-inner goes down. Vrail gets pulled out. Actually, okay, so this might be a little bit of something for Golden Retriever energy. That's back-to-back shutdowns for Blood. But yeah, like you said, they have to do something in order to set him up to fight. Aphelios is a short-range carry. Aphelios cannot just sit in the back and swing like a Caitlyn can. And Blood's used to being able to roll in there and start fights, make plays, and carry a fight as a top laner. He's not able to do that as AD. He really has to rely on his team.
Yeah, and I think that's the hard part for him. Again, we're going to see the Vigard come down, and just 3 abilities is all it takes, folks. That's where we're at right now for the Vigard power spike. And he does pick up a significant amount of AP there. I think he picked up, 6 AP on the kill, hitting all of his abilities. So
he's got fully stacked. He's fully stacked. He's got a death cap. You want to click on him, see how much AP he has? Like, I'd be curious. I think he's like 1,000. Yeah, he's close. He's got 908 AP right now.
And a significant amount of health. He's got almost 3k HP. Like, Vigard's just at that point where it's like, man, you can't even really kill him. I'd imagine he's going to try to pick up I think he's picking up Pen here. If I were him, I'd probably pick up a Zonia's, so that way you just literally can't be killed.
Yep.
But he's just at a point where he's a raid boss.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, he doesn't. The survivability is nice, but I don't really see anybody that can pop him. Especially when you've got Vrail and Rudy just being menaces to the backline. There's nobody that's really gonna be able to do that. Speedy, probably one of the tankier people, just getting chunked out repeatedly. He's going to have to back off. And before the fight even starts, these frontliners are getting chunked down by this IP squad. They're trying to make a bit of a push, but now, yeah, a quick run back from Speedy. Speedy's trying to go back and get health, but he can't really because IP is just threatening the fight. IREP sees it, is going for it. Oh, Abarn getting pulled in. Rudy grabs the Delth Realm on him right now, so the rest of his team trying to buy as much time as they possibly can. Bully goes low. You may be thinking, oh, there's the execute. Bovie gets the execute, shut down onto him, gets the flip. Could this be the Urgot carry? Another bonk from Rudy. A bloody fight. 3 for 3, and Abarn is alive. Oh, no, that is so unfortunate. That is, oh man, wow. That I don't even know what to say, Cal.
Yeah, what a crazy
That
fight,
is
right? Because
so sad.
you see the win con there of Urgot getting an ult and a fear off on the enemy team. So really, really playing into that. That went about, I think, as well as it could have gone for GRE, but it still ended up in a loss for them. They ended up trading, I think, 4 for 3 there. But they did pick up Shoutdown on the Vigar. I didn't see who got it.
It was Lost in the Sauce got the execute on Vagar, so he was able to. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of gold. I think that was 850 gold or something like that. So significant amount of gold that just got transferred over. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. We'll see on this next team fight, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that was one of those moments where you saw the Urgot doing his thing. He was able to roll into the middle of the fight, be a menace, and we see an immediate attack onto the GRE squad. I believe this is Soul Point for
IREP is top right now. He's got a really bot.
IREP is teleporting right now in for a flank on the right side. They're going to have to do something about that. Lost in the Sauce trying to stop the turret. Bully able to slay J-Bob, so Smite is off the table. Shut down, though, from Abarn onto J-Bob. So if Abarn can keep spell slinging, he's going to be able to keep this thing alive. Blood, though, obliterated almost immediately. There's the snipe. Double kill from Coach. Everybody goes down. That's going to be an ace. Dragon goes down as well. And IP's just going to be able to walk this thing in and grab themselves at least a turret and probably more.
Yeah, I don't think it could go any... Like, some of these fights are going really well for GRE. I just think they're too far behind to capitalize off of it. They did kill Bully there. They got him down, but, they traded 1 for 5.
Yeah, totally. And it looks like, they're just going to try to walk this one in quickly. The death timers. No, they're just going to play it safe. Okay, appreciate that. They're going to go grab Baron, go reset, and go win the game. That's probably what we're going to be seeing. About 8,000 gold lead, a massive Vagar. And Rudy, first time Mordekaiser doing his thing. But, you mentioned it before. Something I wanted to call out was that Blood really just not seeming super comfortable on this short range of Aphelios. He is trying to position himself to deal damage and just keeps kind of getting caught in situations where he either isn't getting the peel he needs or just doesn't have it. But we see Baron coming in. J-Bob trying to make it happen. Does grab the Baron. So trying to keep his team on life support. Does succeed. Rudy on a killing spree. IREP trying to tank as much damage. And they're just going to turn this one around. Blood going low but still alive. Coach and Bully on the back half. They're the two last folks alive, but they are incredibly dangerous. They're still looking for a fight as Lost, Blood, and Speedy run away. So a clutch snag from J-Bob. Salute to you, good sir. Grabbing it. And GRE are still in this, clinging to this game by their fingernails.
Yeah, what an awesome steal by J-Bob there. I mean, it just prolongs you a little bit of time to maybe... And now they have to, get the dragon, go for a steal or make a pick, and then get it outright. But I kind of think it's prolonging the inevitable here. You know what's going to happen. I feel like there's a chance, right? There's a chance, but again, if the Vigar built that Zonia's, I think these fights go 100% different. again, he did build that pen. He doesn't have the ability to pop that Zonias, but hopefully we see it here as the last item for him, because if he does get that, they just waste all the damage they're doing on him every team fight because they are focusing him.
Absolutely, yeah, because they're going for the burst. He's going to be able to buy enough time for the rest of his team to kind of dogpile onto this, sit onto these golden retrievers. And Coach is just silently swinging in the back. He's very quietly worked himself into a really nice score line. As we see Sots and Vril trying to fight over this scuttle. I mean, Baron's dead, but you got it. You got it. Good job. And yeah, but like Coach is chilling away. He's got his collector, he's got his IF, he's got a lot of things. And as we saw, if the front line goes down though, for Jerry, if Bully gets pushed out of the fight and if Rail gets melted quickly, Jerry does have the sustained damage to make something happen. Oh no, Bully getting caught out. He does not have the Zonias. He's going to go low. He's going to go down. Lost in the sauce getting credit for this kill. And we're going to see IREP starting to get melted down. Rudy pulling in Speedy. Speedy's going to tank as much damage as he possibly can, but Coach just swinging through this backline. We're going to see a triple. No, doesn't get the Quadra. Okay, is he going to get the Quadra? There's the Quadra. And Dirty Rudy stealing the Penta. We're going to call it an honorary Penta for Coach. Not being so silent anymore. 11-3 and 11. And they should walk this one in for a clean 2-0 victory.
Yeah, honestly, it was easier to predict this game after watching the last one. Like I said, just... I think the mid lane matchup here with the Urgot and the Vigar was a lot better than the Lux Malzahar for GRE, but it just didn't have the firepower that it needed. A-Barn scaled, but it wasn't scaling enough for what that team needed. So I think IP played that very well. I think we saw a great showing out of Rudy there in the jungle, especially with that Mordekaiser pick. And it comes down to my favorite part about casting the game is picking the MVP and picking who deserves that first MVP of the first match of this season of TCL.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's two options. I think you could absolutely go in two different ways. I do want to see the post game stats, just to kind of see what this looks like. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pretty good. Looking pretty good. Can I just see the top line stats? Okay. Woof. Yeah. All right, Cal. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to give it to Bully, other than the fact that he's probably one of the most unlikable people in TCL. So besides that, right, from stat line, from playing as champion, from doing what he was supposed to do, I mean, I think it's between Bully and IREP.
Yeah.
I think IREP's picks and how he played is where I would give him the MVP.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I would say the only thing that would make me not give it to Bully is because he had a huge advantage in the mid lane, right? Like he definitely had a very comfortable mid lane matchup both games. Lost in the sauce is still kind of getting back into it, so that's a little bit of context that I'm kind of looking at where I'm like, yeah, he looked good, he did his job, and he was just popped off. I don't know. Part of me kind of wants to give it to Rudy because Rudy actually played great both games. He was an absolute menace, and I think that he freed his team up to be able to do a lot, especially in the second game when he just effectively took J-Bob he took J-Bob's jungle. Like, they didn't get any buffs. They got very few buffs. He had really good control. I think J-Bob only stole that last Baron, so he had good smite control. So for me, it's between actually Bully and Rudy. Because I thought that macro-wise, Cal, you're the jungler, you can tell me, but I felt like macro-wise, Rudy did a really good job of kind of pacing to his team, controlling the map, making sure that kind of his team had what they needed, and then really making sure that the global objectives were secured.
I think you convinced me. I think it's Rudy too, actually. I wasn't even thinking about that. Game 1, he landed like every bandage toss. He had great ults. Game 2, he took advantage of the fact that, J-Bob missed a few ganks and he took his jungle. Like, I don't know, in TCL you don't really see people having that ability to walk into a jungle uncontested and take it. So I guess my vote changes to Rudy.
Yeah, and also because he first time Mordekaiser's jungle. That's
I don't know if
'cause,
that's
like,
true. If that's true, he earned it.
he
but
DM'd me before, and he's like, "Hey, don't say this until after the thing's locked. But if I'm playing this champion, it's my first time playing it in the jungle."
hell yeah. Yeah, bring
Yep.
him up here. Bring
All
Rudy
right,
up
cool.
here.
Yeah, Lucive, could we get Senor Rudy up here? Hi, Rudy. You're our MVP. Congratulations.
How's it going, boys?
Hello. So we were debating. It was a hot debate, but we decided that between that your macro play, landing pretty much every bandage toss in game one and initiating so many clean fights, your objective control. I think you only lost one smite fight the entire series, which is great.
I'm not to make excuses, but I absolutely dropped frames during that Baron at the end there.
Oh, I see. I see.
I understand how that sounds, but it's true.
So did the cat like pull out the Ethernet cord right at that moment?
Not been like randomly dropping frames today. I don't know what's up with it, but
Hey,
not important. J-Bob played really well. He won that smite.
Oh yeah, he absolutely did. And yeah, it's we felt like, especially in the second game, you DM'd me and you said, "Hey, just so you know, this is gonna be a first time Mordekaiser." You really owned J Bob's jungle, and you really played kind of that farm game.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So first off, it
let's talk about
100% first time ever playing Mordekaiser in any game mode except the practice tool last week. I'm like, I wonder if Mordekaiser can clear the jungle when I'm piloting him. Turns out it's ridiculously easy, even when you start at half HP because you warded the wrong spot. Second, it's really nice having both coach and bully on my team because neither of them is shy about being quiet or shy about talking up. Sorry. So it's like, hey guys, can I go into their jungle now? And they're like, yeah, you have 2 pushing lanes. What are you talking about? Go get it. So they make it really easy to know what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So so let's talk about that first game, because in the second game, that's we mentioned, like, you did a great job of kind of empowering your team to just. It seemed like it was a bit of a slower game than game one, at least in the early days, and you were just kind of Farmville rolling through in J Bob's jungle. Talk me through game one. Kind of what was the game plan? What was the focus? And how did y'all kind of come back from the early? It looked like it was going to be the Blood and Speedy show, and y'all were able to kind of keep your cool and come back. And what did that look like? And what was your focus for that?
Yeah,
game?
sure. I mean, Blood and Speedy are one of the best bot lanes we're going to play against all year. Coach and Vrail did a great job holding on, bouncing back. And honestly, you guys might not have loved the draft, but we got everything we were looking for out of it. Amumu is one of the most brainless champions in the world. You buy Faded Ashes and all the camps kind of just melt away, and that was my focus. That's what coach's coaching has boiled down to, as somebody who does not play this game anymore, let alone jungle. If you see a camp, you should probably be taking that camp. So I was just playing Pac-Man Simulator, as Bully like to call it, and farming when I can, and when I have ult, it's like, hey, who's around?
Yeah. Cal, what you got?
Nothing. I think IP played a great game. I think, you could honestly. I think there were 3 MVP worthy candidates. I think, Vrail and Coach played a crazy game too. They had a couple of the 2v2s that they won. Overall, I think, Rudy, that your team surprised everybody today with
I would
how
agree with
well
that. They
just
surprised
it was
me.
played around every position. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, shout out to the team. They did great. No implosion this week. Look out for it next week, guys, because when it happens, it's going to be glorious. But honestly, good group of guys. Pretty infinite champ pool, so I feel like we're one of the least affected by this mode, which is going to be really nice, except for me. So when people start target banning me, watch out. But also, hey, turns out I can play Mordekaiser. You know what else is out there?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Any final shout outs you want to say to our viewers at home?
Yeah, one last thing. Vrail's right. Supports don't get nearly enough respect. I really hate Bard as a champion, but Vrail did his best to make it look like it existed.
You heard it here first, folks. Thanks, Rudy. Go celebrate with your team.
Have a great night, guys.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's true. What I liked about this, I'm kicking you out. All right. What I liked about it was that there really were. We probably could have picked 3 different people for MVP because they were all bringing something different to the equation. I think a lot of times with teams, you'll see, oh, those 2 guys, they're doing cool stuff, and everybody else is kind of hanging out. But it seemed like they had kind of 5 different unique 5 different unique contributions, and it was like trying to pick between apples and oranges. So it was that's fun, right? I love trying to make those decisions. And honestly, IP looks real good, and I totally agree. They look real strong and fearless because they're not married to any one champion. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to start pulling out, especially once we start getting into playoffs.
Yeah, I think playoffs are going to be exciting. I think seeing the game tomorrow is going to be exciting as well. We got a star-studded lineup with Control versus Tony tomorrow at, I believe, 7:15 Central, 8:15 Eastern. So it should be a good game 2 of the Season 9 season.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all so much for joining us. As he mentioned, it's going to be Control versus Tony. We are going to see that tomorrow, 5 Pacific time, 8 Eastern time, folks. So please check your schedules and set your alarms. It's going to be great. Cal, thank you so much for casting with me. Loosive, thank you so much for gutting through this really, really tough broadcast. I'm Jaws. Thank you all, most importantly, for hanging out with us. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow.